Hello and welcome. My name is Ray, and welcome to the channel. So I'd like to start off with a position update. So I've got my overall position here, currently sitting just below $100,000, and that date being the 7th of February 2020. And using the graph, you can see the road that I have taken to get towards that position. The most notable date being in April 2019, which is this line just here. Uh, that's the time where I have taken control of my investments and finances, and I'm able to start consistently tracking this as time goes on. There is some dates beforehand, all these dot points, which is just information taken from various websites, just to plot my time before I started investing regularly. So with this total net worth, it's currently made up of a number of different accounts, one of them being shares. So shares are currently sitting at about $65,000, and the main goal of this shares portfolio is to generate passive income. So income generated through companies paying their dividends, and with that money, I'm just using it to reinvest back into the shares account, allowing the portfolio to generate more money over time. And with that, currently in the 2019 financial year, currently have earned $1,288.61, and that's just in line with the whole of the 2018 financial year of 1,301. But the difference in the 2019 financial year is there's still 4 months to go. So at the moment, we're currently just entering another earnings season. So companies are starting to um, deliver their reports and also deliver uh, their dividend as well. So we should start to see this graph start increasing over time. And then if we're still reinvesting and adding contributions as well, then we'll see this number starting to get into numbers we're not normally capable of achieving without working. So $2,000 eventually a year, then that can become 4,000, 8,000, 16, and over time, eventually, it'll hit a number large enough for you to replace your entire working income. So if that's, say, $100,000, if you're earning that through passive income, then you don't have to work for it, and then you can pay your expenses without working. And that's the main idea of this account. Eventually, when more companies start delivering their dividends, we'll be able to track that more closely and see how well this 2019 bar will finish on. We've also got, aside from the shares portfolio, we've got our superannuation account sitting at $35,000. The superannuation account is basically the retirement account, but under this account, the main idea is just to hold my capital for retirement, and then I can draw upon that when I retire eventually. But at the moment, this account is currently split into six different sections. When I first took hold of this account, they were all invested under my super, but I wanted my money to do different things under this super account. Um, so I've got them invested in bonds, capital stable, mainly to preserve capital. And then we've got balanced accounts, and then we've got our growth accounts as well, which is only around about 20% at the moment. So accelerated growth and growth. And the contributions made to this is made through working. So over time, the more that we work, um, we'll see this account starting to build up over time as well. Aside from super, we've also got our Spaceship account. So Spaceship is being used to get exposure through to the US. At the moment, I started off with investing only $5 a week, but then I decided to up that to $25 a week. And since I've only started it uh, basically in November, December, there's not much in it, only $200 at the moment. But I've got this graph which basically mimics this graph here, except you can't see the trend line of the Spaceship account, since $200 compared to $100,000 is basically nothing. So I've got this graph to be able to see that a little bit closer. And lastly, I've got my debt. So under the overall, I've got the data which I've imported over the time. So I've currently got my debt, which is my credit card debt, and at the moment have around about $1,800 used in this card. And at the moment, my current goal for my debt is to remove it immediately. So beforehand, normally I would stay topped up, but certain circumstances, having bills paid out, and general weekly expenses are all being charged to the account. This has not been paid off recently, but the main goal is to get out of debt first. Just due to current market conditions, I would find it best to pay off debt first, then anything else, then adding in extra contributions to super or adding in more shares. I'm still sticking with the $25 per week under Spaceship, just so I've got a little bit, but I'm not contributing more until my debt's paid off. So that's basically what I'm using to track my my position. So got a number of different accounts. I've got my super, got my shares income, and I've got my exposure to US. And eventually we should see myself pass $100,000 and stay above there for an extended period of time, because I did break through it in early February, but I have since then dropped below that. But as each pay week comes in, then we should see ourselves steady, even though the market's dropping due to external events like the coronavirus and negative earnings reports and stuff like that. But yeah, I believe that's it for the position update. Most of the accounts I'll go through in detail, but that will be for future content. And basically, future videos, I'm looking at tracking things like news, So things like the coronavirus, as well as um, things about the Australian economy, the bushfires going on, um, interest rates being on hold for February, and things like that. More positional updates, which I'll be updating um, the overall basically every week, um, and super updated every month. And shares I'll update basically every time a dividend has been paid out, because this is paid, and then the spaceship will be paid out. The spaceship account will be updated every week as well, since that's tracked back to this graph here. Aside from that, depending if any specific questions come up, um, otherwise I've noted some questions being asked in I'll say under Reddit subreddits like Oz Finance and um, FI FI Australia. Um, can go through those as well, and then there's also general knowledge as well. Things like what are interest rates, how do they affect your credit card, what's the best using the knowledge, what's the best way to um, get myself out of debt with, say, the 3 cards that I have. But yeah, like this is the start of um, the channel, so just starting out is pretty basic until you get a little bit more experience doing this, and after getting a little bit more experience, then I'll be able to make I guess, the production value a little bit better, and I guess have the content a little bit more uh, streamlined as well. But yeah, that's basically it. So looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Awesome.